Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Recently, I have seen an influx in conversation around weaponized incompetence, and I've made a couple videos about weaponized incompetence before, but considering there's an influx in conversation, I have more that I want to talk about. There are more videos to show and unpack and talk about, and so today I thought we would have a dive into some more weaponized incompetence. If you don't know what that is, basically it's people who weaponize their incompetence. So it's like trying to get out of things by doing a bad job so that someone will take over for you. It is very prevalent, especially within like heterosexual marriages, with men pretending they don't know how to clean so their wives take over and clean for them. That is really the biggest example that exists on the internet, although it obviously exists in other places. That's just like most of what gets talked about because it's a big problem and it is incredibly common and often talked about and joked about, and it's just something that we need to talk about. Before we get into it, I would like to let you know that today's video I am partnering with Geology, and I will tell you a bit more about them soon. And I also wanted to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Jonathan. I appreciate you and your support so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. I am currently backlogging a lot of videos because I am going to South America for 10 weeks in like September, October. And so I'm filming a ton of videos and just getting everything ready for me to go away. And so on Patreon, you will get like a ton of videos really early. So right now I think I've got like 7 videos that you can watch before they get uploaded over the next little while. So if that's something you're interested in, that is only £1 a month. So yeah. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So we're gonna start off with something that makes me just so mad. Mind you, they all do, but let's just watch.
It's been 7 days since I cleaned my kitchen. In fact, it's been that long since I stepped foot in it. My son and I got COVID while my husband somehow managed to avoid it. So we isolated on the top floor. The kitchen is so much worse than I could have imagined. I don't even want to look in the sink. A huge part of me knows how bad it's going to be, because the entire kitchen smells like vinegar. That means there's rotting food hidden somewhere. I don't want to know what these sticky substances are, because the second that I do, I just want to quit. I throw away this cup because there is no saving it, and a huge part of me wants to feel shame over how the kitchen looks. The entire bottom of the sink is filled with old food. Every time that I think I've seen the worst of it, I'm proven wrong. This is a smoothie that I made before I got COVID. I can't believe how disgusting things are.
This is quite astounding, really. So like, question number one, obviously, why was it not cleaned even a little bit? Like, why did your husband not do anything at all? Like, maybe he was working, sure. You get home from work and you're tired and you don't really feel like cleaning. I understand that. However, that's not really any excuse to let it end up looking like this. I don't know if this woman works or not, but presuming she does, that means she does both. And even if she doesn't, I feel like there still needs to be some sort of balance there. I feel like when your partner is sick, you should be helping to look after them and your child. You can't leave all that responsibility on your sick partner. Like, at the very least, it's so easy to just like rinse off dishes and put them in the dishwasher. Like, it's an annoying task, I know, but it is not difficult. The fact there was a smoothie in a cup that was there for over a week, when all it would have taken would have been to open it, tip it out, rinse it, put it in the dishwasher. Like, it would have been so easy. And yet it was left like this, in this state, for you to like, imagine being sick all week and just feeling like shit and not being able to get out of bed. And then you finally feel able to like move and get out of bed, and you go into your kitchen and it looks like that. And you have to spend hours sorting it out because your husband was too tired to do it. Like, pull your weight just a little bit. Like, even if you don't clean the entire thing, do something. At least do the dishes. It takes 5 minutes.
So I just got back from the store, and my husband goes, Did you enjoy your time? That was the other half to my Christmas gift. I'm like, where? What is it?
I babysit for hours. I babysat for hours.
He says freedom. You were gone for 2 hours and I babysat. Your gift was freedom. Baby, I love you, and he kissed me.
I was home with the baby. The greatest gift of all for a mother. I love you. I love you too.
My Christmas present to you, dear wife, is that I was a father for 2 whole hours. That is bare minimum expected of you as a father. You should look after your kids. You should very easily be able to look after your kid for 2 hours. You should definitely be helping out being a parent. Like, you don't deserve praise or gratitude for just being a dad. Boy, no. And this couple, I feel them as a couple in general is like problematic in a sense of the way they met was at a bar when she was 19 and he was 40. And now she's 21 and he's like 42 and they have this like 1-year-old child. And she is convinced that she is incredibly lucky in this. And she made a TikTok being like, to the man who took a chance on dating me at 19 while in his 40s. And now I'm the happiest stay-at-home wife and mom. And it's this thing of like being like, wow, I can't believe this man in his 40s took a chance and dated a 19-year-old instead of dating someone his own age. No, girl, that is a red flag. That is not you being lucky. That is him not being mature enough to date someone his own age and like searching for someone younger than him so he can like put responsibility on you because he knows he has power over you. And it clearly has worked very well. He has been able to tell you what marriage looked like and what's expected of you and that it is a gift for him to look after your child. You deserve better than that. Like, you really, really do. You should expect your husband and the father of your child to be the father of your child. It's not a gift. Him being like, I am so good. I took care of our boy, fuck off.
My back has had me out of commission for about a month, and this is the state of shit around the trash can. Apparently, I'm the only grown-ass adult who knows how to change the trash can out. So now I have to spend time cleaning all this shit up and all that shit up because I had the audacity to be down for a month.
So this woman has been out of it for a month because she has back problems and there is rubbish all around the rubbish bin. There's grime all around the rubbish bin. Like, people weren't just throwing things in the bin. They were just throwing things at the bin and letting it fall all around the bin and not changing the bin bag, etc. So it just piled up and got gross and grimy because no one could be bothered changing the bin bag or throwing stuff away from the floor for a whole month. Because why would they, when eventually she's going to get better and she's going to do it herself and she'll know to never not do it ever again, because otherwise it ends up being so much more work for her. Just like do things. These are like able-bodied adults who are fully capable of doing these tasks and just choose not to. Because why? For what reason? Be a grown-up. Use your initiative. Try to be helpful. And don't do it with the expectation of having gratitude. Just like do it because you should take pride in the place that you live and you should, want to not stress out your partner. Please, clean things. Please. It is not that difficult. Don't stress out your partner. Don't put everything on them all the time. Don't not do things just because you can't do it as well. Or just pretend it doesn't exist. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Oh my God. Speaking of cleaning things though. These fucking segues are so fucking terrible. On the topic of cleaning things though, I would like to take a moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Geology, who is a 30-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company. And they make keeping your skin, your hair, your body clean and radiant so incredibly easy. Basically, how it works is you fill out a little skin survey and they will send you a personalized skincare set that includes a salicylic acid cleanser to use morning and night, a moisturizer with an SPF for the morning, and a night cream with retinol for nighttime before bed. And they are fantastic. I talk about Geology all the time, and I'm so grateful that they continuously work with me because I genuinely adore their products. I have struggled with breakouts for the last few years and nothing really ever worked for me. In fact, a lot of things just irritated my skin, but Geology has helped immensely, and it's helped me just relieve breakouts and stop from breaking out so much. And then also because of the retinol and an added extra vitamin C and E serum, it's also helped me with a lot of scarring and texture that I have left over from all of my breakouts, which is great and I appreciate it. And on top of that, they also have this incredible spot gel and pimple patches, which are so good. Whenever I get a big spot on my face, I'll use these, and after like a day or two, completely gone. Like it was never there to begin with, and I am obsessed with it. I love it. A lot of the time, spot cream does not work. I've never found a spot cream that genuinely actually works, but this one is magic. It works so well and so fast. And another favorite product of mine that they do is their acne body wash, because I have a skin condition that causes breakouts on my body, and it is so hard to find anything that works or offers relief at all. But I've found that this body wash genuinely is so helpful, and I live by it. I love it. I am obsessed with it, and I recommend it highly. Just as I recommend everything from them incredibly highly. They make incredible products, and it is all vegan and cruelty free, which is incredibly important to me. If you would like to try Geology out for yourself, which I highly recommend, then you can use the link in the description or the QR code up on screen with code KIWI70, and you'll get 70% off your first trial skincare set, as well as a further 50% off any one additional product. So do not miss out. It is an incredible deal, and it is a lot of good money saving. And again, I cannot recommend them enough. So thank you, Geology, for partnering with me for today's video. And yeah, let's get back into the weaponized incompetence fun. This says, when I tell my husband that I'm upset he didn't clean anything while I was gone the entire 4-day weekend because I didn't ask him to, and how it makes me feel like he doesn't have pride in our home, and that I'm raising a child and I can't handle telling him what to do for the rest of my life. But he says that I'm mean and rude and hurtful, and he does so much for me that I don't appreciate, and how I'm actually the one that he should be upset with because I'm always making him feel like he's not good enough. Throw the whole man away. Like, straight up, throw the whole man away. This is manipulation and emotional abuse, honestly, because like you coming in with a problem and being like, you are upsetting me, you are hurting me, and him turning around and being like, well, actually, you're hurting me more. You having feelings hurts my feelings. I am the best and perfect, and you are nothing. You don't thank me enough for the things that I do. You should not have to be asked to do like just basic shit. You should not have to be asked to like clean up after yourself. That is just something you should do. When you see something that needs to be done, you should just do it. You shouldn't need to be asked to do it. So when someone is then like, when your life partner is then upset with you for not taking the initiative to like do something that is very obviously needs to be done, that's so valid. That's so valid. And then turning around and being like, but I do stuff for you and you aren't grateful. It's like, I shouldn't have to be grateful for you just doing shit. Like, I shouldn't have to be grateful for you just being a person and doing bare minimum. That's just like what is expected. And like, I'm allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be upset sometimes too, sure, but don't use your upset as a weapon against my upsetness. That's not how this fucking works, all right? Like, if someone is expressing their hurt to you, listen to them, have a conversation, and figure out what needs to be done. If you then are like, well, you're not allowed to be upset because my upset is more important than yours, leave. Leave. Fucking get out. Honey, she captioned this, marriage is so fun. I'll probably regret making this, but I'm just so done. And like, honestly, if you are in a relationship where your feelings are being weaponized and turned against you and being made to make you feel guilty, find a way to leave. I am being 100% dead serious. Do not stay in that relationship. I don't care how good other aspects of your relationship are. That's not okay. Ever. You should not be being made to feel miserable and guilty for having emotions. Ever. You deserve better.
So now that I have gotten a confession out of a certain someone, I am now left to clean up all of this myself because that bag apparently was too heavy to move slightly to the side. For some reason. For a grown-ass adult.
So this is a bag of some sort of powder, maybe activated charcoal or something. I'm not too sure. It's not a massive bag. It looks like it might be like a couple of kilos at most. And basically what's happened is it is spilt like all over the floor. And this woman has to clean it up despite her husband being the one who has knocked it over because it was too heavy to move to the side. And somehow that's her fault. I'm assuming maybe she put it on the bench in an inconvenient spot. And because it was in an inconvenient spot, to make a point of it, her husband deliberately knocked it over and was like, it's not my fault. You put it there and that's not a good spot for it. So now you have to clean it up. Like, it drives me up the wall. Oh my God. Just do the thing. Is it really, like, do you really have to punish your partner because you can't be bothered doing something incredibly easy? Like, you really want to be like, it's too heavy for me, and maybe you should put it like up on the shelf because I don't want to do that because it's too heavy for me, so I'm gonna knock it over and you're gonna have to clean it up as a punishment for your actions for putting it in an inconvenient spot for me. Just do the thing. You know, just like do the thing. It's not hard to just move a bag of something, you know? Like, I'm sorry she put it somewhere that you didn't think was a good spot, but if the roles were reversed and you put something there that was in the way for something she wants, I can guarantee you she would have done the adult thing, well, not even the adult thing, just the like appropriate thing for anyone, and just moved it out of the way, either putting it to where a good place would be, or just moving it to the side if you need something behind it or whatever. Making it her problem and not cleaning it up because it's somehow her fault. Like, ooh, these men are just like not worth it. They just really truly aren't worth it. Like, at this point, if this is what your relationship looks like, it's them just fucking shit up and punishing you for their mistakes because they want to punish you for it. Like, just don't be there anymore. I cannot imagine being happy in that relationship. Like, you know, like sometimes the bad things outweigh the good things. And if this is how they treat you in this way, I don't know what the rest of your relationship looks like, but it cannot be worth it. This says, I asked Nick to keep an eye on the babies for 2 minutes. I heard crying and then silence and I come out to this. And these are like newborn babies. There's 2 of them and they're like pushed between the couch cushions, like sitting up, so they're like being swaddled by the couch, and he's on his phone, not even looking at the babies or anything. And like a lot of people found this really funny and were like, this is genius, like lol, you can put the babies in between the couch cushions and then you can just go on your phone, they look so comfy. And it's like, this can literally kill your babies. They're not meant to be upright, especially with their necks down. Like, they can suffocate. He's not even, like, they can suffocate so quickly and so easy, and he's not even watching them. If you want to like leave them somewhere, put them in their like cot or their bassinet or wherever they're sleeping at the moment. Like, you can't even be left alone with your 2 babies for 2 minutes because your phone is more important. Don't have kids if you know you don't want to look after them. You know, like if you cannot be bothered spending like 2 minutes looking after your kid when your wife tells you to because they need to do something, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. You know, like sometimes being a parent and looking after your children is more important than whatever the fuck you're looking at on your phone. But I don't know. Maybe it's worth potentially suffocating your babies so you can scroll on Twitter. Astounding. Astounding. But I mean, hey, maybe he'll never be asked to look after the babies ever again. So worth it, right? So this is a mother coming home after I don't know how long. And her husband has been left alone to look after their kids, and the house is an absolute mess. It's covered in the kids' stuff. It's got toys thrown everywhere. In the bathroom, they have like their bath toys and they're like thrown on the floor. The sink is clogged and blue. The bedroom is covered in toys. Nothing has been moved. There's paint on the wall next to where the kids have been sitting down and painting. There's just kids stuff all through the house. And she captioned it, and this is weaponized incompetence. Because yeah, you know, the entire purpose of this was purely so he will never be asked to be left alone with the kids ever again. Because like, is it worth the hassle? Probably not. It's definitely not. If you come home and this is what the house looks like, and then you have to spend all your time cleaning up after him, you aren't going to ask to look after the kids again. Like, you're going to be resigned. You're going to be like, I can't deal with this. It's just not worth it. And that fucking sucks. The fact that they weaponize their incompetence. They pretend they don't know how to look after their kids, so they don't ever have to do it. And that's so sad for so many reasons too, because not only are you hurting your wife by making her, like, you know, neglect her friends or wherever she was, you're making her give up going out and having independence. You're also just like straight up being like, I don't want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to look after my kids. I don't want to be a dad. Why did you have kids if you aren't willing to look after your kids? Don't be a parent if you don't want children. It is really that simple. It's really that simple. If you never want to be left alone with your kids and you hate your wife so much, you want to punish her for making you look after your own kids, don't get married and don't have kids. It's really simple. I know it's too late now, but fucking hell. It's like so many people just should not be parents and should just like not be in relationships. And yet, here we are. And I'm so sorry to this woman who came home from I don't know where to have to deal with this shit, because it's just so unfair. This is leaving my husband alone with our baby for less than an hour. And she got texts that say, you need to come home. He just shit everywhere. It's literally everywhere. I don't know what to do. And she replied in the way that she should reply, with just, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Because like, yeah, if she knows what to do, then you should also know what to do. You know, like you can't be like, oh my God, my son shit everywhere. I don't know what to do. Wife, come home to me. Come home and fix this solution. Fix it your fucking self, bro. Like, if you're expecting her to do it all by herself, why can't you do it all by yourself? Why is that her responsibility? Why does she have to drop everything to come home to clean up after your kid? Just like, figure it out, really. You know, like, you'll be okay. I don't even think it's that difficult to figure out. Like, it seems like a pretty straightforward task. You just don't want to deal with it. There's a whole thing of just when you leave the husband alone with the kids for a couple hours, they come home and they walk in the door and there's just toys everywhere. And in this one, she walks into the door and there's toys like leading a trail. They're everywhere. And then she sees her husband holding the two kids and she asks, are you okay? And he says, girl, no, what the hell? I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot to look after your kids. I'm aware of that. And sometimes you don't have time to clean up after them as you're playing. That's totally valid. That's totally fine. You can wait until after the kids are finished playing and then tidy up afterwards, as long as, you know, you offer to help with that and you don't expect your wife to clean up, you know? As long as you help with that, that's fine. You don't want to clean up while your kids are playing because it's just going to keep getting messy. That's chill. I'm not shaming that at all. But adding the thing at the end of being like, are you okay? Being like, no, I'm not. You left me alone with two kids all day. I am not okay. Like, you should be able to look after your kids and entertain your kids for 2 hours. It can be stressful. That's fine. It shouldn't be a problem. And when the, like, making a mess ends up being, like, your kids are in bed already and your wife comes home and it's not cleaned up, like, it's just... This is another, when I left my husband alone with the kids after my phone died, and she walks in and he's holding the two kids and he's got like lipstick on his face and he's wearing a tiara and the kids are like playing around, like whacking him. And like, again, it's fine to be slightly stressed out a little bit when you look after your kids. It can be a handful. It can be a bit of a task. However, again, the problem with this is the audio of I called you and you didn't answer. You didn't help me out. And it's like, you shouldn't have to call your wife to ask her advice on how to look after your own kids. Would she ever call you when left alone looking after the kids? I highly, highly doubt it. You should know how to take care of your kids. That should be something you know how to do. You shouldn't have to call for help about that. You should just know how to do it. And you should just Do it, especially if it's only for a few hours. Like, you will be okay. It's stressful sometimes, but like, that's what you signed up for. This is a woman dancing with the text. I left my husband alone with our toddler for 42 minutes before he called me. He wants to know when I'm coming home. 42 minutes. 42 minutes alone with a toddler, and he's calling up like, when are you coming home? I can't do this anymore. Like, bro, let your wife have a life. Please look after your own kid. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. You can't look after your toddler for 42 minutes. Like, teenagers fucking do that. That's what babysitting is. There are like literal like 14-year-olds who are going and looking after toddlers or multiple children for hours, and they're fucking fine. They're fine. You can't even do that with your own kid. You're a grown-ass adult. You can't be alone for an hour with your own toddler, but yet some random fucking 14-year-old can do just fucking fine. Like, you don't have an excuse. You just don't. You just don't want to do it, and you're pretending that you can't figure out how to look after your own kid, which is just, it's unacceptable. It's not okay. It's not okay. Let your wife have a life. Figure it the fuck out and leave her alone. Let her have some time. Good Lord. When I leave my husband alone for 1 minute and he's changing a baby, but the baby is covered in like talcum powder, like completely covered. How did this happen? Like, this is deliberate. You have to deliberately cover your baby in talcum powder. Just to what? Be like, see, I don't know how to change a nappy. I don't know how to do it. This is what happens when you leave me alone with the baby. I fuck up and then he gets covered in talcum powder. So I guess you have to do this all the time. Just do the adult parent thing. Just change your baby. It's like, it's not that difficult to figure out. And like, you shouldn't be punishing your wife like for just asking you to do a normal task that is expected of you as a father. And with that, I think I've reached the end of all of my TikToks that I have saved. So yeah, basically, if you can't leave your partner alone with your kid without being called after an hour, or without coming home to the house being an absolute mess that you have to clean up, maybe you should have kids with someone else. Maybe you should call in some extra help and like kick out your husband and bring in a new person instead. I don't know. But like, clearly your husband is making your life harder than it was before. Like, it's easier to just not have him there. You know what I mean? And if your husband can't clean and expects you to do it all despite you being disabled for a period of time, whether that be you being sick or having back problems or whatever, and he still can't do anything, throw the whole man away. He should be able to clean and cook and look after the kids. That's just something that's expected of an able-bodied adult. Like, you should be able to do that. And that's not just for men. That's in general. These examples are all men, because those are all the ones that have been uploaded. But like, it's not exclusively husbands that do this. They just seem to be a very large part of the problem. And a lot of that has to do with the patriarchy and misogyny and what is expected of women versus men, etc. You know? So it happens a lot within heterosexual relationships, specifically men to women. And exhausting. You deserve better. Don't settle for this. You deserve better. Anyway, with that, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. I'm here every few days. I would love to see you again. A massive thank you to my Sprout Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a massive thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Elias, Chris, Samuel, Radsack, Mr. Noodle, Jonathan, and Bonbon. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. Click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos currently like weeks early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes, you replace the darkness.